Okay, before we get started with the video, sorry to disrupt it here. I know my mic sounds mega cooked, okay? I don't know how, but I broke it, so now it's like peaking really loudly and it sounds like I'm screaming through a ceiling fan. So it shouldn't last for too long, maybe the next couple of videos. I'm trying to get it fixed, I promise, okay? Ignore me, back to the video. The Central Authority is a large military organization that largely resides within the Central Luminate, alongside other factions like the 100 Legions. This is why we haven't seen the main authority base in Deepwoken, unlike Etria, who obviously has Etris. The large authority presence within Deepwoken currently can be seen within Fort Merit, on the outskirts of Aratel Island, which I'll cover in a future video, but right now you can see Fort Merit in the background while I talk. The authority currently stands as the main enemy of Etria, and they're willing to achieve their ends by any means. You can see them all the time making deals with basically every faction in game, but then they double cross them. Like all the time. Like it's the main thing you're told about the authority, is that they double cross their allies. So what's their ultimate goal? Stopping the Lord Regent from causing another great drowning via his control of Etria. As I dived into in my video on the Lord Regent's secrets, he's secretly a puppet of the Ministry, right? And he seeks to drown the world into the depths through war. Therefore, the authority were like, okay, we can't have you drowning the entire world, right? Like he did to Seltor, so they decided to wage war upon Etria in order to invade and slaughter the Lord Regent's forces. Although, Warden Jericho, a high-ranking official in the Central Authority's military, funnily enough, thinks that the mass casualties from the Central Authority slaughtering everyone in Etria is actually resulting in the depths being flooded with more souls than ever before anyways. So he says this in a journal that you can find within the tomb of the Nameless Warrior, which is where the player uncaps strength. There's actually a disclaimer here saying that most of the pages from the journal are missing and some passages are smudged, but you can make out some of what is written, so this is like bits and pieces of what he's written in this journal. I'm torn between my duty to the authority and keeping my oath. The fake shrine outside seems to have been destroyed, probably by some local bandits or maybe the Etrians. I fear for the Etrian people, that they are to become casualties in a war beyond their understanding, being led by that thing they call a lord. I thought the contractors had all been wiped out, but they have surely just been hiding within the Ministry. It all makes sense now, but it seems far too late. I fear we may have fallen for his plan. The authority's peacekeeping may soon become the sole reason for the largest great drowning since Seltor. So not only does Jericho's writing allude to his utilization of the War Master Oath, which is a new oath that we haven't seen by the way, so it should be coming in Conquest, he's worrying that the influx of death caused by the authority's efforts to stop the Lord Regent will in fact make it easier for the great drowning to occur. Now from these lines said by him, we can actually figure out what it means for the world to drown. So what happens is when a certain amount of souls fill the depths and it actually becomes too big, the world should drown, right? So think of the depths as one giant swimming pool. I know that sounds stupid, but if you fill a bunch of people in a swimming pool, it's eventually going to overflow. Think of like an ice cube in a glass, for example. So that's why the Lord Regent has baited the authority to attacking everybody and causing more death, basically to try and stop him, which is just causing his plan to happen anyways, or at least that's what Jericho's saying. You may find yourself questioning the leader of the authority and why they're doing this, and even though we don't know much about him, we do know his name and title. Sovereign Draus Overseer of Epochs. Figures like Draus and Warden Jericho have never been seen, but it can be assumed that they're adrets due to the Central Authority's potentially racist prioritization of adrets within their organization. That's not something I'll really get into now though. Draus is only mentioned by name, and even within the world of Deepwoken, his true face has never been seen. He's hiding it behind a standard authority helmet. Now I believe that the authority helmets the soldiers are wearing have been fashioned after Draus' very own helmet, meaning that not only is Draus the leader of the authority, but I think he's also the founder. He earned the title of sovereign after withstanding something called the God Storm, which sounds really OD. Draus has been confirmed to be stronger than the Lord Regent, and is often referred to as Lumen's savior. Why? I think it's because of his motives. We know that Draus is attempting to defeat the Lord Regent, but I believe his means extend much further than that. A theory that has been confirmed as quote-unquote close to the actual lore says that Draus is controlled by the Celestials with the objective to unite all of Lumen under one banner, so they may fight off the drowned gods like the Celestials did before they were wiped out. I believe that Draus is a follower of the Celestials rather than being controlled by them. In my opinion, the God Storm proved as a trial to demonstrate his readiness to defeat the servants of the drowned gods. I believe that Draus, after some series of events, has decided to eradicate all of the drowned gods' influence within Lumen, explaining his clear lack of empathy and complete dedication to his goals. I don't believe that Draus believes in cooperation and is trying to unite everybody together, rather that he believes that the authority can ultimately blow the drowned god's influence out of the water, and he believes that his own strength may be enough to deal with the Lord Regent, which is correct in one way or another, as he has been confirmed to be stronger than Regent. I also believe that Draus is attempting to siege Etria in order to destroy the Lord Regent's throne, which makes him more exponentially powerful. If you haven't seen my video on Lord Regent, his throne essentially amps him like 10 times over. Like, he goes from being able to barely beat Akira, the diver in the depths that you meet in the Willpower on Cap event. He can barely beat that guy, and then on the throne he can like negative diff him, so the throne's a big deal. And this siege and actualization that Draus wants to go through with can be seen in Etra's siege, like the event where Etras is completely on fire. Authority personnel, genuinely, they just charge in there and burn it, they try to burn it to the ground. So this is why I stand against the theory that Draus is attempting to unite humanity against the contractors and the drowned gods, because the Etra siege event clearly demonstrates his lack of empathy, let's be honest, and complete commitment to his goal. Like, he's not going around Etria asking people to turn against the Lord Regent, he just busted in there and tried to burn the whole place down. Now, in addition, the Chain Warden Oath has recently been added to Deepwoken, which is why I waited so long to make this video, tying deep into the authority's lore, although it hasn't been expanded upon to great measure. We now know about the Vice Warden, and that some of the authority generals use Chain Warden, so potentially Draus could be using Chain Warden, but we don't really know, and I was hoping for a lot more information on the authority and the goals, versus what we actually got, so it looks like we'll have to wait until Conquest to receive that. Since the authority resides within the Central Luminant, which is where Contrast will be set, hopefully that grants us a lot more information on the authority. Chain Warden didn't really have any place in this video, so I thought I'd just mention it at the end. And that's it for the authority. So I know it's a shorter video than the Lord Regents, but that's because the authority's lore hasn't really been expanded upon yet. Hopefully I believe that the authority, hopefully the authority gets the treatment I believe it deserves pretty soon. I know you guys have been waiting for this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. I would just like to humbly ask if you liked this video, or you enjoyed it, or you found it informative. Like the video, obviously, and subscribe if you like. I'll be completely honest, the more traction these videos get, the more drive I have to make more, and I've got some in the oven. They're cooking up right now, so once again, thanks, and I'll see you next time.